This is probably obvious, but I'm going to start this video off with a spoiler warning. We're going to go in depth with the ending of Life is Strange, and basically, the idea of the video is I'm going to say how I would have tweaked up the ending to Life is Strange, because Life is Strange, out of all the games I reviewed, is probably like in the top three. I really love the game, and I noticed a lot of the time from its fans they're not too fond of the ending. And I think part of that is because they Life is Strange really ripped off the Telltale Choice Adventure thing. And a lot of people might have been, expecting more out of that. And when we just got, for an ending, just choice A, choice B, the rest you did before, it doesn't really matter all that much. It was a little bit insulting, I think, to some people. At this point, when I played Life is Strange, I was kind of expecting that. I still really love the game for its characters and its story, and I love that in video games story and even the choose your own adventure thing. Since I started reviewing, I think Heavy Rain and this are like probably my top two, so that says something right there. That being said, I'm just gonna dive into this. So first off, I think the only way I can truly do this without, completely rewriting the entire game and like making huge big things, I can't do that. I would, but I would have to pretend like there's this imaginary budget and all these other things, and I'd kind of have to make the game something that it isn't. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to hold the ideas that this game stood for and kind of continue them, and like not make too much like bonus content that would come from an imaginary budget and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make this imaginary ending based off the idea that I can't do too much more than the video game already did on terms of like new cutscenes or like new like levels or whatever. So episodes 1 through 4, all that was great. I'm not going to change anything except for the ending to episode 4. So in episode 4, when Chloe and Max get the text from Nathan, it's from Mr. Jefferson, they rush to the scene, and then I want this to be the first time that they're discovering Rachel. That whole scene where they like randomly check to see if she was there, if she was alive. I'm gonna just cut that out. They're like, this text message is saying, "Hey, we have Chloe, whatever," and then they arrive, and suddenly they start digging at this, like they're digging the same thing. They start to notice, oh, it's a dead body, but it's not Rachel Amber, it is Nathan Prescott. The big first twist I'm gonna make is Rachel Amber is alive. At this point, Mr. Jefferson was already going to kill Nathan Prescott off. I think his character, I'm going to try to get a lot more closure for the characters here. But Nathan, he was, this very extreme character. He's a troubled person. He's going to live a troubled life. There's not really a happy ending for him. There's not really a way to twist his viewpoint into some good moral ground. He's, in the end, a bad guy who kind of just needs to be put down. I don't want to put it in those words, but I think the best thing to do in terms of story is to just kind of kill him off. At this point, Mr. Jefferson, he has all he needs from him. He's a loose cannon. That's the dead body they find. And so they're still confused. They're looking for Rachel. The same thing happens. Mr. Jefferson shoots Chloe. Max gets drugged up, wakes up in the dark room. So the only difference here is Rachel Amber is alive and Nathan Prescott is dead. Within the dark room, there's like a secret little room or something. That's where Rachel Amber is. I think just killing her off and like alluding to her character so much just for her to, oh, yep, she actually died. I think that's not the best thing we can do. Let's say she's alive and she's Mr. Jefferson's like perfect prized, he's obsessed with these pictures. She's his perfect model and he's going for he has to keep her around basically. So she's like this weird, tortured like person that he's keeping. So originally at this point in time, Max gets to the pictures and she goes back in time. And I'm going to go with that original plan again, but I'm just going to change something. based off of the conversation you had with Victoria. Basically, all the choices you had with Victoria either decide that that went well or that that went bad. And basically, I'm going to have more impact based off of, Victoria's conversation. If that conversation went well, then Victoria at this point would have gone up to Max and thanked her just to make sure she's okay or whatever. And that's when she sees Mr. Jefferson following Max. And so at this point in time, if that conversation with Victoria went well, she would have followed both of them into the dark room. She would have basically helped Max, and like there would have been some kind of thing where Mr. Jefferson gets knocked out or whatever, and then Max is like, give me those pictures, and basically it's all normal. However, if the conversation with Victoria went south, instead of that, I would have it so basically Rachel Amber dies here. Mr. Jefferson basically kind of tells Max, she's my perfect model, but she's not doing too good health wise. I can't keep her down here much longer. I need a new model. That's gonna be you. And so at that point in time, I would have he kills Rachel Amber, and then we resume on the main quest. Max gets the photos through just her clever, witty way of doing it, how she did in the original game. So at this point, we're gonna fast forward a little bit. We're still on the main timeline. The only thing that changed is that whole Rachel Amber bit. And so we resume to the part where Max basically, flips time around so she wins this weird prize or whatever, right? And the only thing different here is, again, Rachel Amber is alive. And so I'm going to change it up a little again and make Rachel Amber's presence a little more impactful. I don't think we need Max going, off to this weird art thing. I'm gonna twist it up a little bit. Let's say that this um, contest started before Rachel Amber got kidnapped. Rachel Amber, the last thing before she got kidnapped, she had her own photo in this prize thing, and Rachel Amber instead wins the contest in our timeline, and basically she gets one guest, and now that obviously at this point, in this timeline, Mr. Jefferson, he got captured, he's busted. Rachel then would have been released, and so now she wins the prize, and we're all good in this timeline. And we're gonna add another little fun bit. How about Rachel Amber gets one guest to, come with her onto this, little vacation thing, and she chooses her best friend Chloe for obvious reasons. And at this point in time, this is gonna get a little bit fan fictiony, but the three characters, Max, Chloe, and Rachel, they're all talking right before, Rachel and Chloe leave for their little field trip, and basically it's gonna come out at this point in time, either jokingly or by accident, whether or not that Max kissed Chloe at that one point. That choice really didn't really matter at all from the playthroughs that I've seen. So I'm gonna make that choice a lot more impactful. It's pretty much confirmed that Chloe and Rachel had a thing going on. Whether or not that went anywhere, or Chloe ever actually stated her feelings, or it's pretty much confirmed. So we're gonna go along with that idea that they're in love, and that Max is kind of in this weird love pyramid thing. If you kiss Chloe, then at that point, Rachel is gonna get mad. And after that, Chloe and Max, they have a big fight. They're arguing, and then at some point they're gonna kind of just have to be like state their feelings. And this is where the big climax of their relationship is. You can either decide at this point, to go along with those feelings and finally get that relationship there, or you can, just go back and be like, oh, I don't have feelings for you. However, if you did not kiss Chloe earlier in the game, then let's just assume that Rachel and Chloe are just all happy and they hold hands on the way, leaving to their little vacation thing. And, Max, let's assume, because since you've denied Chloe, she doesn't care. But oh damn, we still have a big storm coming on the way. And I've thought about ways that we're gonna change this, and basically we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue, and I like the idea that you can either go along in this world where you've become this time traveler and you've kind of altered the system, and the butterfly effect happened, and you live past that, and you get to keep Chloe, or you can erase it all and you get to save the town. I like that kind of moral decision you get to make. Um, I think that that's good storytelling. We're gonna keep that, but we're gonna alter that. At this point in time, I'm just gonna kind of have Rachel show up when Chloe and Max go to the lighthouse to make the final decision. Rachel is also there. So now we're gonna get two different endings, but there's gonna be a lot of little branching endings underneath that. First off, we're gonna have the ending where we destroyed the town, but we saved Chloe. Now, at this point in time, basically, all we have is Max, Rachel, and Chloe. And if we, built a relationship between Max and Chloe, then they're going to kind of be happy together. And, that's going to be our final moment. But we're also going to get, an image of Rachel going to, Frank's dead body. Like something that, shows she's, upset about that. We've lost something. We've lost a lot of some things, but, that's our big, sad moment that we're going to hang on. But the big happy moment is that Max and Chloe are in a relationship. However, if you didn't choose that and instead Rachel and Chloe are the ones that are going to be in a relationship, and instead Max is going to be upset about Warren, and she's going to have a sad moment reflecting on that. But in the end, all three of you are friends. Two of you may or may not be in a relationship, and that's when we're going to roll credits. Then we're going to go to the ending where we saved Arcadia Bay. Chloe's dead. Rachel Amber is dead. Mr. Jefferson gets arrested along with Nathan Prescott. And then we're going to have a couple choices branch off here. First off, we're going to get at least one decision made with the stepfather, Chloe's dad, stepdad, whatever. And I want, because early in the game we decide whether this marriage is basically going to be broken or not. I want that to come back, and I'm going to have Max's, how she acts is going to be based off that. She's either going to, come at the stepdad, and, the marriage is going to be all broken, and, the mom's going to be sad about Chloe, and, there's going to be all this stuff going on. The marriage is going to break if you broke it earlier in the game. However, if we rekindled it and kept it going, then we're going to keep that going. And Max's actions are going to be, very supportive, and she's going to bring them together, and they're going to be happy, and we're going to get closure there. Next off, we're going to get closure on the whole, Max's relationship thing. And how I would do it is, basically, if we kissed Warren, then just, those two are going to be happy together. They're going to get their own thing. If not, then, maybe add a new romance just for the sake of maybe you getting one. Since there's Rachel, she's alive right now. You could throw that fun weirdness in there. I would just provide a choice or something, whether you even want to do that or not. And you can get that if you want. So basically this is going to be the same ending, but we're going to get more closure with the stepdad, with Warren, the relationships. If there's some other character interactions that I'm not remembering quite right, then maybe throw that in there. The same ending, but a couple more scenes to give correct closure. And finally, this is just for the Arcadia Bay ending. I'm going to add one little stipulation, and we're going to bring back the deer that kept showing up throughout the game. And the deer was obviously some kind of mystical creature. I haven't looked into that much analysis for the game. I don't know if that meant something bigger, but basically I'm gonna add my own little spin to it, and I'm going to change when the deer shows up. I'm gonna have it change to, it's gonna show up at the end of episode 1 when Chloe and Max are talking and she's telling her about her superpowers. I'm going to have it show up at that moment in time when Chloe died in the alternate timeline, when she was in a wheelchair. And I'm going to have it show up now, as we're about to roll credits. And basically, I'm going to do something kind of neat here. I want for us to be able to bring Chloe back in a strange kind of way. And basically, what we're going to do here is that deer is going to be kind of an alternate butterfly, and we're going to be able to time travel here in a unique way. I'm going to have it so Rachel Amber's photo that she submitted for this prize is going to be a deer. It's the exact same deer that we see. And I'm going to change it so Kate Marsh's photo that she submitted was kind of like the background, like it's going to be like a forest type thing. And so basically, what's going to happen is if you kept Kate Marsh alive, you kept Rachel, she lives no matter what. But basically, if we do all the right choices, and if we saved Chloe in the one timeline where, she could have died, we're going to be able to go in time through these, they're obviously painted photos, but we're going to go through time through Rachel and Kate Marsh's painting of the deer. First off, is going to take you to that moment in time right before you chose to save Chloe in that one alternate timeline, because that's when you saw the deer. And then it's going to take you to episode 1, and basically, it's going to be kind of like a portal, I imagine. It's going to be some kind of painting portal, and Chloe's going to be there at the other end of this portal. And basically, this is going to be Chloe at the end of episode 1, and you're going to have the choice to just grab her out of there, pull her into your timeline, and I know that doesn't make much sense, and it's kind of fan-fiction-y, but it allows you, in some alternate way, to get what you want. Like, you mastered time travel, but at the same time, you know that you fucked up. You know, you got the moral decision, but in the end, you were able to save your friend. And that's just going to be a tiny little bonus for those who play the game, perfectly. I think games like Mass Effect have, taught me, hey, I like that, we're, going to feel the blow of the impact no matter what, but I want to be able to play the game, and if I play it just right, I can get the ending I want. And I think a lot of people wanted, they got the message, and they wanted closure in some character aspects, and they wanted some kind of, alternate thing than just these two endings. And I think that's what we got here, and that's what I would change. Ultimately, we're just tweaking some cutscenes that already exist, and we're not really adding many cutscenes at all. We're not changing, level designs. We're not, changing, too many paths. That's ultimately going and tiptoeing around the same timeline, same paths. I think this was very doable. We get a lot more character closure. I think it's a great way to end the game, and a lot more satisfying. But how about you guys? You tell me what you thought of my little ramble about how I would do the ending. What would you change about it? What character interactions would you add or take out? Or just how would you do the ending? Would you rewrite the entire game? Did you like Life is Strange even? I don't know. You gotta let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and with that, I leave you.